Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the talk show. We're on episode 15 today. We have Blue Fox back. We have Airwolf back, who's, like I said in the last video, my permanent co host. And we have Amani here. Yeah. So, we're today we are talking about uh furry conventions or just general comic cons. And to start us off, like a general question, have you guys been to any furry conventions or just conventions in general? It could be Anime Con, Comic Con, the Furry Con, any kind of convention, virtual or real. We'll start off going right to left, which is starts with Blue.
Which is going to be pretty exciting. Be definitely something new for me. I don't really socialize much, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be peachy. Speaking of Fraud Peachy, I submit
Uh-oh.
a video for the Friday Community Showcase thing. So that happens on Saturday around 6 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon. So if you guys are at the convention center at that time, if anyone that's watching this that is going to MFF, you guys are definitely going to see me there. Probably freaking out.
I will not be going to MFF because there's too many people that's going there that I hate.
Oh yeah, trust me. I agree.
I'm going there because it's cool. There might be a lot of people that you might hate, but never miss a chance to try to meet new people.
Yeah.
Things happen.
That
We're not gonna bring it up in the recording, but it's a long, long story.
yeah, we'll just leave it
No,
at that.
buddy, I don't really need to catch up.
Yes, yeah,
I
just
like
know
my
that
I
burgers
didn't want.
plain
there are reasons.
Yeah.
with
So
beef and cheese and some
my
buns.
personal, like, I've been to several conventions. I've been to ACFI, which is Anthro City Furry Invasion. I've been to the Tyler Comic Con. I've been to TFF, which is Texas Furry Fiesta. I've been to Longview Comic Con, a lot of Texas cons, because I used to be in Texas. And I've also been to 3 Furalities, which is a virtual fur con right here on VR chat. So that's a lot of my takeaway of furry conventions and conventions. But my next, that I do have plans in the future to go to uh, Anthrocon, which is here in Pennsylvania. I also have planned to go to Furrydelphia, which both Pittsburgh and Philadelphia is like a few hour drive for me. So it'd be easy driving. But my last Texas convention will be TFF this coming March. And from there this is the perfect segue to make an announcement that we will be doing this talk show live in person at TFF, which is Texas Furry Convention, Texas Furry Fiesta in Dallas, Texas. So that will be going live then. I'll put up an infographic. I'll put it in the link in the description, you know, so you can guys can be able to find when and where it is. So if you guys want to go to the convention to see that, you have to. I'll be more than glad to, answer you guys' questions, and I think I'll do a special kind of live stream there. I'll be streaming on my here on the YouTube channel, and I'll do a recording afterwards, and I'll have Roxy as a fursuit. I'll have my Sona as a fursuit then. So you guys have something to look forward to. Airwolf, your question.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I got completely sidetracked here. So the question, you want me
Have you
to
been to any
ask it
furry
or answer?
conventions or conventions in general?
IRL? No. But digital, I've been to, I think, 4 or 5. I've been to Ferality Luma, Ferality Aqua, Ferality Legends, the Jungle one, and I think there's one more. Because
Um,
the,
I forget which one that was.
I think, yeah, I think I've been to like 4 or 5 conventions.
Yep.
Ferality conventions so far.
Let me
And so
turn
far, they've
you.
all been pretty fun. I think I've been to. And in March, me and Roxy are going to be. I'll be going to my very first IRL convention in
Mm-hmm.
Texas. God, that drive's gonna be painful.
He's gonna be helping me set up for that convention and set up for
Hmm.
this talk show.
Yep. 'Cause I don't know if you mentioned it before, but we will be running an in-person
Mm-hmm.
episode that day.
Live
We're
in
still working at
person.
all. We're still discussing all the what we're gonna do with it, how it's gonna go, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
That's again, since we have until March, we're gonna have a lot of time to do so.
All right. Amani, your question.
You mean my answer?
Yeah, your answer.
Um, I haven't been to any conventions yet. I wanted to several times, and I had planned to go with somebody else, but they always backed out at the last second, so nothing actually ever happened. I want to go to some, though. I just don't know which one yet. There are a lot.
I know there's one
But
that's close to you. I think it's called Denver.
I'm not sure, because I've never heard of it. But
It's a
that's the
furry
end of my
convention
answer.
right there. Okay. Okay, this leads to another off of the same question. If you have gone, how was your experience and would you go again? Blue.
For what?
That if you have gone to a convention, how was your experience and would you go again?
Well, I mean, Ferality is a bit of an online convention, and honestly, it's pretty cool to meet new people from, basically globally.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, I would go to that one again. I want to try to be on part of the photographer team and a couple other bits of
Yeah.
the team players and jazz, hopefully. But even then, it would be nice to still meet a bunch of new people. Fev, since my partner kind of lives closer to that area,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely will probably go every year. Try to at least, but
All right.
eventually, like, make it a thing to where I go every year, have a sponsorship, and, just kind of, I don't know, participate. I don't know if I would go to any others, like, statewide, but, I'd probably go out of the United States to go to, like, UK, for instance, or something like that. Meet new people from a different country.
Yeah.
All the jazz. But
All right. I know you're not going to be able to answer this question, Airwolf, but it would be my turn next. For me, I have gone to several in-person conventions and they're a blast. They really are. Cause that's where I got most of my fursuit was conventions. I got the fursuit paws that I have. I'll flash up a picture of my fursuit here. Uh, Wolf, you'll have to remind me to add that in recording later afterwards. But
Yeah, gotcha.
so
Also,
what?
I've gotten into contact with that person, with that YouTuber,
Mhm.
now, and it's time. If possible, if they could join. If they could join in midway, I told them that would be fine.
That's fine.
If they wanted to, they can join in midway. Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll let you know that we might have them in here soon.
All right, and that's fine. It's happened before. We'll just keep it going. We'll keep it live. But like I was saying, like with my fursuit, it's literally a makeshift fursuit. My husband got me a fursuit head whenever we went to uh an arcade in New York. Not New York City, but just New York in general. It was like a couple hours away from New York City. We went to a little arcade and I saw the panda mask and we both won a lot of jackpots and we were able to get it. And from there, I kind of just built my own fursuit. I have a fur that I put together that kind of fits me. I have an Assassin's Creed top that I put on to keep the fur down and keep it in place. I also have a keyblade I use as a prop, and I have the fursuit paws, which I got at ACFI, as well as the tail. I got both of those at the convention of ACFI, which is San Antonio, Texas. That drive was worth it. It was 6.5 hours drive from whenever I started driving to whenever I was parked. So that was a lot of fun for me. And as far as like everything else, all the other conventions, like TFF was an absolute blast as well. It was my first time staffing a convention, and it was my first time even like, doing some serious volunteer work as well. Which I mean, I absolutely recommend it. It's definitely a lot of fun because you meet a whole bunch of new people. You get to see all these people like doing all their hard work to make fursuits, which is a whole nother process, a whole nother level of process. So it's a lot of fun. I will say that much. It's just I definitely say it is. I would definitely recommend it 100%. Okay, this is another part of that question. Since those that can't answer this, if no, are there any that you want to go to? Airwolf, you'll be able to answer that one. Airwolf.
Yeah, what's
Fine.
up?
Your question. If no,
Yes.
are there any conventions that you want to go to?
You already know which one I'm going to, but other than that, not at the moment.
There are a few. I've heard of a few New Mexico conventions as well. I have to do some research on it though. All right, and Amani, that you can answer the same question.
I've heard of some that I may want to go to. I haven't obviously decided on anything yet, but I'm not in a rush to decide anything. Honestly, the ones that seem real exciting are out of date.
Mhm.
So I might have to plan for those a bit in advance, but I would like to go to them.
Right.
I'm just trying to decide.
Right. I think that kind of answers that question. So, what's your opinion on people who dress up at conventions and like things like fursuits, cosplay, and other stuff like that? Blue.
So, like, give me context.
Like people who
Like,
dress up like
I
in
mean,
fursuit
if
or
it's a
like
furry convention,
people who wear fursuits or cosplay kind of stuff or like just dress up in general outside of the norm.
well, people just want to express themselves and what they're interested in. I mean, it being a furry convention too, well, you would figure that there would be plenty of people with fursuits and stuff like that, or just like if I didn't have my fursuit that I had gotten the other month ago, I probably would just go with a shirt, you know, because I have furry printed shirts and a bunch of other
Yeah.
stuff. Have hand paws and a tail that I acquired from, I think a fursuit maker in Canada or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But aside from that, it's just another way that people like to express themselves and other stuff. One single thing to just be their own character or be a character from who knows where, or, you know, just inspiration and jazz. A
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff.
For me, it's just like
So
every.
this,
Oh, were you done answering? I'm sorry.
oh no, it's fine. Go on.
Well, I was leaving that up for you. I was letting you gonna finish your answer.
I already forgot what I was gonna say, so
Oh, okay.
you go ahead and talk.
All right. Well, I'm giving this answer for me. Airwolf, can you share out the stream? Airwolf?
Yeah.
Can
I'm sorry.
While
I'm
I'm giving
also
I said while
focusing.
I'm giving my answer, can you share out the stream?
Yeah, I can do my best here. Stand by.
All right. So for
Stream.
me,
This
my
is
opinion on
live.
people who wear fursuits and stuff, like
Yes.
who dress up at conventions, I think it's a great idea because I do it myself. It's a great release of serotonin. I know we hear it all the time on these people who go to who go to fur conventions and they'll wear all these fursuits. People don't realize like those on the outside of the fandom and seeing us dress up like this and they get a kick out of it. It actually does a lot of good for this community. I mean, sure, we get a lot of hate and negativity for it, but until they look into it themselves, they're not going to realize how much fun they can actually be. For me, like, I had met somebody when I was doing TFF, I was staffing there. A couple had come in with a kid because at the time I was staffing, I was doing family friendly. So I was helping around with the younger furries. So there had been a mother, an older daughter, and a younger daughter, and they had come in not like they had just like, oh, there's a furry convention going on, let's go attend it, let's see what it's about. They just wanted to check it out, and me and them got to talking, and it's just like their their first ever experience with the fandom and a convention all together in one. That was the best experience they had ever had. They were always going on the assumption that we were so negative and we were all like all this, that, and other, all the negative stuff. Until they actually experienced it for themselves, they didn't know what it was like. And whenever they did experience it for themselves, they realized how wrong the media was. They realized like this is a lot of fun. We're definitely gonna be back next year. And I hope to see them again next year.
That's so cute.
So it's just like I got to talk to them about like how our fandom is and that we do a lot of this other stuff for like there's charity because this year, like for those that are gonna come to TFF, I'll be working in the charity department this year or this next year. I'll be in charity. So if you guys have a chance, come stop by and say hi. So, but that aside, like just I think it's a blessing sometimes to be able to go and just have fun fursuiting and not being judged. It's because a lot of these nowadays, like you go out in a fursuit, people are gonna judge regardless. But it's the thing about conventions, people do not judge you whatsoever. So we're an open and welcoming fandom. Go ahead, Blue.
Um, well, just to add on for, let's say, outside of said furry conventions, I had my first experience public suiting, um, on Halloween. because
Yeah.
my mom has her business kind of thing, and they have this big old thing in town where we pass out candy for the kids and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I went in my full suit, because I decided, hey, why not? Why not make a big fool of myself? Why not?
Yeah.
Aside from being barked at by several dogs and people, it was pretty cool. I had gave out like several hugs to a bunch of kids that were passing by, a bunch of high fives and everything.
Mhm.
Everybody was just so excited to see, something as interesting as like, a fursuit, a fucking big dog. Sorry for cursing. You can bleep that out if you want. But just a big old dog just standing in front of a dog grooming business and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
my mom's just dog grooming and stuff like that, trimming all the jazz. I had several people probably ask me, is it warm in that thing? And I'm like, yes, it is. It was like
Yes.
38-degree weather outside. I'm over here like big
Oh,
fur
boy.
coat and everything. It's like, I beat the weather. But yeah, it was. I had so many people asking me questions like, where do I get one of those? And like, it must be pretty interesting to be into this in this kind of community and stuff like that. Just a bunch of people passing by saying it was a cool suit and all that jazz.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's being the person in the suit is one hell of an experience,
Yeah.
because not only are you, aside from putting yourself out there to be different, you have this kind of ability to give people something to be happy about, or
Yeah.
even if they're poking fun at it, it gives them a little bit of something to smile about. You can spread the enjoyment out there without really even doing that much. You just go out there, be yourself, and people either like it or hate it, but at least as long as you can get somebody to smile, it counts.
Yeah. And that's what's important, because I
Yeah, I
also
had
dressed up in my
gotten my
fursuit on Halloween.
fursuit from a friend of mine. Well,
I
it's
also,
Halloween. Why not? I mean,
yeah, I
everybody's
mean, I
dressing
also
up.
dressed up.
Nobody's gonna tell.
I mean, most people will probably think it's just your costume.
Exactly.
It's
Most of the people
Halloween.
costume jazz. I was like, yeah, it's Halloween, and then like I was like, I want to go out and like see the stores and everything, and my mom was like, no, I'm done driving. I don't want to. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But oh, a random factor before that, getting asked whenever you're going out into like a pet store to get a brush for the fur,
Mhm.
getting asked the question, what kind of dog do you have? Is probably the most embarrassing question ever, because I'm like, I don't know what to say. This is my first time,
6 foot,
everything is like,
stands on 2 legs.
it's fluffy. It's like a German Shepherd dog. I don't know. But yeah, that was probably the
just
most
smile in
embarrassing
its
thing that I said.
You know,
I don't know, it's a dog.
for me, though, on that part, I do have a bit of advice. The thing that you could do, since you are on TikTok, you could go to the TikTok shop and grab the unbrush, which I'm not sponsored, but it's a great thing for fursuits. Because I brushed my tail out with it the other day, and it worked it worked really good.
This one I got works pretty great too. I
Yeah,
don't know what it's called though.
but it doesn't. Like
But
the
it's a
way it
fur
goes
brush.
through, it doesn't. It doesn't comb out. It doesn't like you don't lose hairs with it with brushing with the unbrush.
It doesn't tug or pull.
Yeah.
In kind of a way.
Yeah.
This one doesn't
Like
either.
it brushes,
it's
but
more
it's not
smooth.
violent.
It's
Okay.
got like the little bulbs on every little bitty thing on there.
Right.
But
Getting a little
yeah,
off
it works
topic.
pretty well for mine. Yeah, I was just finishing off the statement. So
Yeah, Airwolf, your turn for the question.
Alright, what do we got?
What is your opinion on people who dress up for conventions, things like fursuits, cosplay, or whatnot?
I say let them express themselves. The first suits cosplay, they get to express themselves however they want. It with how this world is, trying to control everything. It's just nice to just let people again just express themselves as the way they want, whether they be in a in a fursuit, a non-furry costume, or just whatever. If you want if you want to cosplay, go for it. No one's gonna stop you.
Yep. The
Had to
floppy
find my
ears.
face controls there.
Alright, Amani, your answer.
Okay. I think it's really cool. Like, okay, so first, especially for the people who make their cosplay or their fursuits on their own, that's like a big way to just kind of show off your artistic talent. And I think that's really, really cool. And some people make the most incredible things. Like, I know that recently cosplaying Genshin characters was really popular, and some people, it looks like it came straight out of the game. It's amazing. Um, I think that fursuits are a bit of like a bigger project because you're making something that covers the whole body and kind of what's it called? Morphed it in a way so that it
Mhm.
doesn't look like human limbs anymore with lots of foam and padding and sculpting and all that.
Yeah.
It's
But
also an expensive project.
yeah, that's what I was getting to. I could never own one. One, because it's a lot of money. Two, because I don't have a place to put it. And three, it's a lot of cleaning and brushing that I know you have to do that I just don't want to. But but I tend to think whenever I see people in them, I mean, I know they enjoy it, and I know they paid money for it. I know they want to use it. But don't you get hot?
Yes, you very
Yes,
much do.
Okay, so
very
you
hot.
just bear it. I think if I go to a convention, the most that I would get would be like ears and a tail. But I'm kind of scared to go to conventions because I know that I'm not super popular, but if somebody were to recognize what I was wearing because of my character, I don't want them to see my face. So I have to figure out how to cover my eyes first. And
Sunglasses.
I don't want to wear sunglasses inside though.
Well, don't wear a
Well, the
blindfold.
fursuits do a pretty
You don't
good.
need to know where you're walking.
Yeah, the fursuits do a pretty good job of covering your eyes.
They cover your entire face, but I mean
Yeah,
like
no.
I have a mask, like, you know, a face mask from COVID obviously, but it's good to use
Mm.
other times. But like I'm thinking about like the eyes part. Usually on the internet I'll do it so like my face is either cut off or something is covering my eyes, but I have to figure that out. But I have plenty of time. I'm sure I'll figure out something. And if I feel like it, I may just go with what Pyro said and wear sunglasses and hopefully go with somebody so that I don't walk into a pole.
Be
But
the
yeah,
blind
in short,
person, you know.
I think it's real cool and real impressive.
Yeah.
That's the end of my answer.
It also is like another thing on top of that, like people who make those kind of stuff, it's a lot of work. Because I'm starting to get into it, and there's a lot that I have to consider, like getting foam that's like the right texture, the right density, if it's light enough. Like there's a whole lot of different foams too. There's it's just so much work and so much that goes into making fursuits. You wouldn't think twice
Foam,
about it if you're just
fabric.
getting one.
Sculpting,
My bank
shaping,
account.
cutting, gluing,
Duct taping for the duct tape dummies.
prayers.
My
Yeah.
paycheck.
Praying it stays together.
Yes. It's a lot of work.
Duct tape can fix everything.
Sure.
Not me. I've tried it.
All right. The last question that I have on the list, for those that
I
go to
will have
artist
one
alleys,
after this.
like those that have been to conventions that have an artist alley, do you think it's a way to get small artists recognized? Like, well,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think so too. That's kind of why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm kind of gonna do the talk show live in person at TFF. And I will probably try and do more live events as the traffic comes in. So it's just more of like planning and people who would support something like that. So it's for me, it's more of a kind of as I plan, if I have the time and I have the money to be able to do it, I can do it. I just have to get with the other conventions and get things planned out and all this, that, and other. It's a whole long process. And if you guys want it, if you guys enjoyed the live and at TFF, I'll definitely do more of it.
There is a question I have about it though.
What's up?
Not about the talk show, but about Artist Alley in general.
Yeah.
And I also have a question after this. I just didn't know how to word it. But uh, what about like I know that it's called Artist Alley because it's usually in sort of like a hall or a corridor or set up that way.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of stands, a lot of people, a lot of things going on. What about the people who I guess are at the end of the aisle that might not get a lot of people over there, or people get too tired to go to the end, or something
Hmm.
like that?
Well, a lot of conventions that I've been to, the way they had it set up, it was set up in a room, kind of like in a C kind of thing, where you have tables
Oh,
on
like,
both sides, and everything is displayed in the middle. And
oh, okay. So it's like a
so,
circle.
yeah, so people can walk to either way, go to any of the tables they want, and it's just that's the way I've seen it set up. At least for ACFI, it was set up that way. And there's also things like the dealer's den, and there's Artist Alley. But for TFF, Artist Alley was 4 sets of like 30-foot tables. And there's people on both sides of each set of tables. And tables weren't just
Okay.
one wide, there were two wide. Excuse me. There were two wide per table, so we could have people on both sides.
I just thought conventions are a big place with a lot of people and you need a lot of space and you walk around everywhere,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
this dealer's den was set up the same way. It was like it was like 10 or 20 different sets of tables and like just areas. Most people, like if they're a dealer and they've been to many conventions before, they'll have their own stuff. But if they don't have anything, the convention will provide for them what they need. And 90% of people, if they're popular, they will sell all of their product for the convention. They'll prepare product for the convention, and 9 times out of 10, they'll sell it all by the
Well, I
third
guess I
day
have
or
to get
fourth day, however
popular
long.
first.
I mean, it's a lot of work. I'll give it that much. Just having to get things ready, get things going, and all that. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's also a lot of work. So,
Do
yay.
do you want to hear my second question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this kind of verges off what we were talking about, so I'm going in kind of a completely different direction. It is for people who have both been to conventions and not been to conventions and just whatever. Have you ever, so if you've been to one, you might have actually been part of it, but have you at least heard of, I guess, anything crazy happening, like where somebody had to get police involved, or the fire alarm went off, or literally anything that happened at DashCon,
Yeah.
anything like that?
Actually, yes. Whenever I went to TFF, I think the first day or second day of the convention, I think it was pretty sure it was the first day. But basically, we were in the middle of a storm and we had to totally shut off the glass overhang from on both sides and put people in the giant ballroom, which is known as the Dallas Ballroom. We had to put everybody in there. So it was like that was a scary experience because one, I was a part of staff then, so I had to help usher people over because I was doing line control. I had to help usher people over there away from all the windows and all that. So it was definitely a scary experience because downtown Dallas, that's going through the buildings. It's very strong winds. Like it is stronger winds than it is on a plane or coming off of a mountain. It is the strongest winds you'll ever experience. That's why they have to close the glass bridges. Another thing was, then a situation happened right at the end of con where the furry is. You will never hear about this unless you have to or you are required to. But you didn't hear this from me. The
Okay.
furry is a There's a group of people called the Furry FBI, and that's basically where people keep track and keep up with the safety of the furry fandom and people or who are a part of the furry fandom. So it's more of a kind of you just got to be careful. And a situation did happen where like some people got blamed and other this that and other. It's a whole long story I don't really want to get into. So it's just, nonetheless, like at bottom line, don't mess with them. Just be cool, be chill, and have fun.
Well, it's like I know there's security and stuff, and there's stuff just in case something were to go wrong, because you want to keep the convention fun and
Yeah.
safe for everyone. But you also gotta hope that you won't need security to intervene.
Yeah.
What about
I,
you, Blue?
Me?
yes,
Yes,
you.
you. What other blue
Oh,
foxes there?
um, orange. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can hear from conventions that happen all around the world, like BLFC.
Yeah, I did hear about that one.
Anyways, it might make you a little nervous, but shit can happen any moment. So, it is what it is. Life happens, same things happens in big cities, malls, whatever. It's, life is life. But, you just can't let that stuff get in the way of, just doing something fun, even though it might get to you whenever something dangerous gets mentioned, like when people show up with guns to do terrorist acts and whatever. But
Yeah.
you're basically risking your life at any moment in time because train stations, airports, a bunch of other things. I mean, it's gonna happen anywhere.
Man, that puts me anxiety at ease. Thanks, Blue.
I mean, all you gotta do is just keep to
I'm
yourself.
joking.
I
Do
mean, as
whatever you
long as
need
I'm
to
you have
do.
fun,
joking.
you'll
I've
be
I
come to
mean,
fine.
it
terms
doesn't
with it.
help mine either, so. Yeah, my
I've come to
partner
terms
has
with it.
mentioned quite a few things that could happen at MFF that, get overlooked, but, I'm just there to do my thing and get out. That's it. I'm there for my vacation. That's it. Whoever wants to be there to cause problems, well,
That's their problem.
congratulations. You want a cake? I'm too poor. I can't buy you cake.
Yeah,
I'm saving my
it's
money for
definitely
shit at the dealer's den.
It's definitely made me think about conventions a lot because I've heard people getting what's YouTube friendly? Touched, I guess. Because you're in a big crowded space and it's really hard, or stalked by somebody, although that usually doesn't mean to happen. It's just everybody's going in one direction and you go with the crowd, or just something happening. Um, like I said, DashCon was a big thing where a lot of stuff happened. Um,
Yeah.
and there was another convention. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was a My Little Pony convention or something. But like the fire alarm got pulled.
Oh
And
yeah.
so everybody had to get ushered outside for 15 to 20 minutes, and that was odd. But, when you think of it at the end of the day, it's just a few days for a lot of people to come together for a common interest.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
it
a
it
lot of
can
people come into
happen.
Penguin Huddle.
Yeah, it can happen, but it's not very likely that something like that is going to happen. I mean, you paid money to get there. Why would you ruin it? You paid your
Exactly. I
money.
paid too much for this. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I had to pay
so
for the sponsorship ticket. I had to
get
pay for the train ticket. I didn't have to pay for much for like the hotel tickets and stuff like that because my partner
but
lives like
yeah,
an
Hotel?
but
hour
you
away
Like,
from the
you mean the
still
convention
hotel
you
center.
room?
still get your money's worth.
Hotel ticket close enough? Bite me, why don't you? Anyways,
But yeah, and you even will usually spend more money once you're there because dealer's den, artist alley, all of that.
Yeah.
So I don't really think that many people have that much money to waste, just to do something that makes like a few people uncomfortable. Now that I say that out loud, I just realized how really stupid that sounds. Yeah, I don't think it's really gonna happen often.
Yeah.
It just takes saying it out loud.
Yep. Sometimes it's all it takes. But I do have a lot of fun going to conventions. I can't stress it enough. Like, it really is a big release of serotonin. Like, you can have fun with other fursuiters, and you can make people will make TikToks of it, and you'll appear in the TikTok feed. Because there was one that's called Frozen Fox that was hit TFF. He, somebody who recorded somebody carrying him off. I saw that happen. I was like, what is going on? I just heard somebody screaming off in the background. They were being carried. And then I saw somebody following with the camera. And it's like, oh, what's going on? I was like all confused. And then like a few weeks later, I saw it on TikTok. It's like, oh, that's what happened. Okay.
Breaking news.
Yeah, so there's been a few TikToks that I've kind of
do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
photobombed per se. I'm not going to tell you where I was in that TikTok though. It's for you to find out. But I was it's just something that everybody has to experience for themselves. Like, I mean, some people will have social anxiety, yes, but conventions are a great way to help break that. Like, you don't have to start with conventions. You could start with local meetups. Like, you you can get onto a few groups that are local first. Like, you have your local groups. That's what you can start out with. Like, if you have a really bad social anxiety, you can start there. Or you could even, do VR chat if that makes you feel better. But there's just many avenues that you can prepare yourself for conventions. You could be an artist going to a convention to set up for selling your art. There's models, there's fursuits, like there's all whole bunch of many avenues. You could even staff the convention. Hey, I'm trying to get onto. I was gonna see about getting onto staff at Anthrocon for next year, and that's gonna be a
I'm
big
never doing
process there.
staff.
Cause
I'm there to have fun, not work.
yeah, I'm there to have fun and work. Because it can be a lot of fun working as
Well, I
well. Because
get
you meet.
paid to work.
Not really. You get paid in food.
Well,
At least that's what happened with me. I
yeah,
got
but
paid in
I'd
food.
rather work and get paid.
Whenever I was staffing the con at the TFF last year, well, this year, I was staffing for uh and the only thing I really had to do was, watch kids. That's it. That's all I had to do.
Just
And I got
observe
paid.
children.
I literally got paid in food.
I mean, any pay is good pay.
Yep.
Keep you fed, keep you happy.
Yes, definitely.
I'd prefer sleeping.
But so
I work a lot, so when it comes to like taking time for like a vacation or like some kind of group event kind of thing,
mhm.
I want my time to be like for me to do whatever I feel like and not have to have a responsibility find me behind my
You
back.
time is just you
I'm
time.
sorry. One thing I will
Yeah.
recommend though, for those that wear fursuits to conventions, you have to have plenty of water. You have to have your fursuit spray for one. The fursuit spray is definitely
Water.
important, and a handheld fan would also be helpful. Just
I've met
have some
Oh,
or well
I
deodorant,
have a
not
have some
fan in my
met.
fursuit
head.
spray. Oh, it looks like we got somebody coming in a little bit late towards the end.
I've
And
seen
that's
some people
Arcadia
who
Wolf
have like
coming in late.
what is it? I think it was a fan in the nose or like in the snout
Yeah,
area, so they had something blowing
it's
on their
right
face.
here sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think it would help
Like
all that
mine is
much,
for there.
but it's okay.
Yeah, well, at least gives you a bit of a breather. I have clothes that I have to wear underneath it, so it gives me breathability and stuff like
Yes,
that.
that is also important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please wear clothes under your fursuit, even if it's just like a tank
Well,
top and shorts or something.
yes.
And
I'm not gonna go
another
to a
thing, like,
convention in my underwear.
Some people have said
Have
openly on
done
the
that.
internet,
that's
yeah,
no
I wear
Blue.
nothing under a fursuit.
Blue. That's for the after dark section, not for their.
Yes, but even in the After Dark section, they do not consent to nudity.
I know.
I've read it in the MFF rules and stuff like that. They don't accept that. Though, as long as you have clothes on, it's anything goes. But, underneath the fursuit, I have some Under Armour, like, sweatshirt and sweatpants. So
Mm-hmm.
it gives me better breathability and stuff like that.
Yup.
I haven't really got the best breathing socks. I don't even know if there are breathing socks, but
There
you
is
know.
there
And
is
I
breathing
have to
sucks.
buy a battery for the heads fan, stuff like that. I got my stuff sitting right up here, one on my wall right here, the whole suit and everything.
As
Whenever
far
you
as
mention like you don't know where you're gonna put it, you don't know where you're gonna put it. It's just gonna end up in your room somewhere.
yeah.
Because I still have the box like right behind me. That's what I'm sitting on. So yeah, it's just gonna end up in your room somewhere, and you can use it eventually, or to greet the pizza person when they
Also,
come
another
deliver to your
thing, like
house.
for the fursuiters, if you do wear your fursuit at a convention and after you wash it, you just have to know. For those that use fursuits, I mean, obviously you're gonna know like how you wash it and how you take care of it afterwards. But it's just for me, like I do
What?
have a lot. I can't. I'm starting to sound like a broken record. Like I do have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. The aftercare, making sure it gets washed and everything, is very necessary. Mostly because it does get pretty sweaty after several hours in said shirt. I
Mhm.
don't mean to interrupt, though. I do need to get going. My batteries are dying. It's 5:16, and my mother needs me at the shop so I can watch it for a minute.
All right.
So I will leave you guys at that. Thanks for having me on the show and everything.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and end it there too.
Didn't
Well,
you have somebody come in, though?
yeah, but
I'm gonna go off camera for a bit here. I'm getting hungry, so.
okay. Well, I think that's a good place to end it there then. Sorry, Arcadia.
Yeah.
But anti-furry, okay. Yeah, no. How about remove anti-furry?
YouTube.
You cannot do that now. Have a good. Anyway, like I was saying, sorry about that. Thank you everybody so much for watching and all, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Be sure to check out the Patreon that I have made just for this talk show. You can support it if you want to. You don't have to. And we'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.